Imagine a place where the boundaries of age, industry, background, and culture melt away, replaced by a shared desire to explore the depths of our collective experiences here on the open, shaded porch. Amidst an atmosphere of serenity and tranquility, leaders from all walks of life gather to share their stories, the stories that shape their very beings and doings. This is the Knowledge Mindfulness Porch with Laila Maroof.
Welcome back to the porch and my conversation with Tianmeng Xu. We've been learning more about her remarkable journey from China to New York to Boston, where she co-founded a startup fund committed to breakthrough technologies that solve long-standing problems and shapes the future for the next generations. TX, anyone who listened to the first part of our talk can see that you're a sponge for knowledge. But what is your learning style? What resonates most with TX? Is it books? Is it talking with people? Or is it a mix of all those things?
Well, I really like to dig into the incentive from no matter I'm talking to an entrepreneur or talking to myself. I always ask myself, what's my incentive to do everything? And the answer I've got now is it's come from my insecurity. My parents loves me, and they gives me a pretty safe and warm environment. But I don't know where it comes from. Maybe from boarding school or a little, not that much, but a little bully history back to school. They cultivated a character that always leads me to think, what's next? What's tomorrow? What's next year? That probably also comes from my mom, because I remember when I was so little, because my mom was also a businesswoman, when she's doing financial plans for a company for a new year, she also asked me, why don't you make your new year plan? So I started to make my own financial and career education plan from when I was probably 8-9 years old. And I learned how to do 1-year plan, 3-year plan, 5-year plan. And even though I look back, where am I here? It's so different from my childhood plan. But I think that helps to cultivate a strategic mind. And that's the first thing that helps me to keep learning all the time. Because if you got a plan, then you realize, oh, I don't know this, I don't know that. Then what should I do? You can only rely on yourself. Then you gotta learn. You gotta educate yourself. And the second thing is secure. I don't know why. Take example, when I encountered in some strangers, maybe they're talking about some really nice, sweet topic. And if I realize, oh, I don't know what they're talking about, I cannot chat with them. I'm just sitting there like a rigid monkey, and it makes me feel so awkward. So after that chat, I'm gonna go dive into that topic to learn what they're talking about and try to chat with them next time. It's just like a trait or character. It's just something about me. I cannot stand myself to be ignored or left behind. So that keep pushing me to learn new things that they know, but I don't know. And the third thing is that I started to do little business really young. I remember that when China first time had the e-commercials that you can buy things online, but some of my classmates, they don't know how to do that. They still buy things in real life. So I just buy a lot of the glasses, and I just bought them a lot so I can get a cheap cost, and then I sell them at a really high price. During that process, I realized information gap, it's valuable. It's probably the most easy opportunity that the world gives you to make arbitrage. So maybe it started from then. I realized that information and knowledge are the material to create values and wealth. So that's also part of the reason why I value studying and learning so much. And even now, I'm already graduate and got my first master degree. I still plan to do another PhD degree just like you. And also about the non-degree program, I I basically took 2 to 3 per year to make new friends, to know new knowledge about different industries, and it fulfilled my life. It makes me feel that I'm enriched all the time, and that go back to my venture capital business. It really helps me a lot. It makes you build up it's not 3D, it's not 3 dimension. It's like a 365 dimension of what the real world is. And the more factors you know, it's near to what the real world is, the more success you can practice it in your investment decision. So I think the childhood environment, the insecurities, and the businesswoman experience helps me and drives me to learn new things all the time and made me who I am today.
I think when you say insecurities, it just aligns to a word in my mind, which is more like you're a perfectionist. So that kind of character, the perfectionist, is always feels whatever they're doing is not enough. They have to look for things. I have reached a point where I feel the more I know, the more I'm humble about what I know. In terms of, that no matter how much you know, it's nothing compared to this knowledge in this world. So that brings me to trusting people around you, building these relationships with people who you trust. So you can see also through their lens, through how they view the world. Because as much as we think we can see and, like you said, multidimensional view as a person, but it's still limited. Imagine if this multidimensional view, what you're seeing is there's someone beside you also seeing their multidimension and their and these are people all you trust. Imagine how big is this picture you're seeing of the world out there. Trust is a very overused word now that sometimes it loses its value, its real value, because people think, trust comes, when you talk a couple of times or when you do business 1 or 2 times. Or for me, trust needs time to build, right? So what do you think? How do you build trust with others?
I think trust is only can be earned by hard working and always maintenance. It's not like, you verify me and I'm okay, I passed the test and you trust me forever. It's not like that. It's just like a flower. It's like really precious flower. You have to watering it, you have to fertilize it every day. It's really hard for me to build trust and I lose it very easily. Sometimes if my friends do some little details that I'm not happy with, I lose my trust. I'm judging my trust to my friends all the time, but I don't have to make a move when we reach the 100% trust line. I can still testing and make a score for your new trust level all the time. But for me, how to build the trust to other people's heart and mind is only to do hard work. You can only do hard work to prove yourself, prove your ability, prove your values and your philosophy. And if someone sees it, they're going to value you because hardworking, integrated people, it's not that much. And when someone really got that bright eyes, when they sees you, they're going to vote for you. But you don't need to do that much. Especially, I hate people to pour their hardworking all in emotional attachment. Like they take care of your emotion all the time. They say a lot of sweet talks. I don't like that. You just do solid things, feet on the ground. Show me what you got and show me your output. That's enough. I will identify who you are and to decide if I'm going to put my trust in you. So for me, it's pretty easy. Just show me the outcome.
Yeah. For me, you said something about working on yourself. And I think that kind of resonates with me because when I work on myself, that's where my authentic self comes out. Authentic self means that real foundation where I have that human values, universal human values, kindness, compassion, love. And I think if that comes naturally, it kind of creates an energy field that you can feel, because people feel each other. We don't even sometimes have to do much, like you said, even in words sometimes. The way you talk, the way you act, you don't need to do much if it comes naturally, if it flows, and, it's kind of like a really great positive energy field that attracts people towards you, because they feel you're genuine, they feel your integrity. They can see your actions are aligned with what you're saying and they're feeling about you. So you're right. We don't have to do so much if we only work on coming up with our authentic self out there in many ways. So tell me a little bit about the horses. I heard you saying you love horses. What did you learn from horses? What did you learn from that connection with the horse?
People tend to think that horses are so nice, so kind, so generous, but they're not. They're so clever. They're just like tech entrepreneurs or venture capital or any professional services, young people in financial industry. They're so sensitive. The first time when you walk into them, they immediately know, are you immature or are you a really writer? When they know who you are, they got their strategy to treat you differently. I would say it's so amazing, because considering their brain and their intelligence level, they're probably like a 6-7 years old little kids. So they're smart enough to tell you if you are happy, if you are scared. And the first lesson I learned from horse is to always bring a stick. A stick means a whip. You don't really need to use that whip, but you need to let the horse know, I got something for you. I'm not here to chit chat. I'm here to make you work. And I'm here to make us to reach a higher level, higher goal. And it's so different. Just maybe try next time. If you are just riding them without a whip, just with your legs, then you have to be really, really strong to make the horse go wherever you want. But with a stick, your life and your work will be so much easier and enjoyable and pleasure.
Wow. I have never learned that before, never in my life. That's really something new.
What's actually helps me a lot during my work, because in the deep tech venture capital industry, you have to deal with all those MIT graduates, Harvard graduates, Stanford graduates. They're so smart, and you cannot just talk with the sweet talks or talk with our common passion, common values. You gotta have some sidekick. So Horace taught me this, and Horace taught me to listen. Even though I'm saying and speaking a lot tonight, but Horace, I mean, when I was much more younger, for a period of time, I think that's natural for young kids. They just tend to, sometimes they are a little bit too emotional, a little bit depressed. I just went to my horse, and they're just, I think they understand a little bit, but they're not judging. They're not comment on you. They just sit there, listen, and maybe sigh with your words. And sometimes they're so sympathetic that they walk to you, and they just lie their heads on your shoulder, and you just feel so amazing that you are connected with this earth, with another species. And that's so amazing. And that makes me ask myself, how can I be a good friend, a trustworthy friend, and a soothing friend as a horse? So in my conclusion, I just shut my mouth and listen, and showing that I accept everything you said, and I support you whenever you said. That's what I learned from the horse.
Wow. That's very powerful. That is powerful. It shows you that connection we have with each other, not only as human beings. We have each other as beings in this life, right? We have it with the animals, with the plants, with Mother Earth. So it's so, so powerful, because that shows me how much you learn as a leader. all the traits you were talking about, and talking about how you have the kindness, but also you need that accountability, the firmness. It's like, it's all about timing in many perspectives, right? It's like you have a toolbox and you know exactly when to kind of pull, when to give away a little bit. And it's just all about the timing. That's the kind of intelligence we need in this world right now, right? How to use both, but in the right time.
And third thing that horses taught me is communication is everything. Because imagine the horse is a 700 kilogram. Is it right? But I mean, they are like 7 times bigger than you, right? You cannot roughly put them or push them. You have to communicate gently and estimate and try to understand where you want to go, where you want to do next. And should I follow you or should I give you a sign? And how would I give out the sign to make you understand better? It's all about communicating. In a company, in the business, or in any institution, you are not only communicate to one or two individuals. You are communicated to a group. That's just like a horse. You communicate with something that so much power that got so much power than you. Then how do you know the vibe? How do you understand them? If I have to break it down to the logical way, of course I can give out several factors, but all in all, you just know how to understand better and how to give out the signal better.
Yes, how to lead better. I take it even as a metaphor. You're leading your life or you're being led. So it's that, that interplay. I call it like the tango of life, It's when do you let go? When do you bring it back? It's like a tango. I want to go back to a word you used about communication, because I feel this is a big problem between generations right now. There is kind of miscommunication. There's more like fragmentation. It's like they don't speak the same language. What do you do about it? What's your advice to build bridges between these generations?
Well, for me personally, I'm hard to communicate with my dad because my dad is a very, very classic Chinese businessman. Many of Chinese dad are fear to show their love and their emotions because that's a way that they are going to be judged as they are vulnerable and losing their manpower. So I'm still trying to build a better connection and communication with my dad. But for my mom, we are super close. We are like sisters, and I tell her everything. And I went to her when I encountered some challenges in real life. I think for my dad, our relationship changes from these 2 years. One reason is he's getting old and, man got a little bit soft and, they sometimes I feel like my dad is a little kid. They are vulnerable. I can play vulnerable in front of my dad to earn his trust and willing to communicate with me. And I think another techniques to better communicate, I think we still need to fix the willingness problem, the incentive problem. Why the younger people want to communicate with the elders? It is because we need to show that we are valuable. We got something that you don't. Like for me, I'm not that aged. I was born in 1996, so I'm 27 years old now. But when we look at some Web3 startups, the entrepreneurs were born in 2005, and sometimes you can feel the ignorance and the proud among the younger kids. But sometimes you gotta show off. You don't need to be that humble. You gotta use your proud as a tool. You need to let them know, hey, I got something better than you. And I'm willing to share that with you if you are willing to cooperate with me, if you are willing to learn it humbly and make me happy to teach you. And I think that sometimes you need to show that it's not like I'm better than you. It's just to show that I got something good. Do you want it?
It's your wisdom. That's what they don't understand. You have really a lot of wisdom, TX. And I think the younger generations with the learnings, whatever you said, I think it goes back to so much of our learnings, older way of taking in so much from our culture, societies, schools, peers. But then we kind of get stuck there. We think this is who we are and, this is me. I'm not going to change. But I think the realization that this is not me and this is really a part of me that can be reconfigured if I am aware that I can renew these learnings. Whatever doesn't work, I can weed it out. It doesn't work anymore. Maybe it worked for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, but now it's not working. So if it's not working, what am I doing with it, right? I think this kind of practice, this kind of thinking, mindset, I think more and more of parents and more of even businessmen in corporations, older generations where they have to deal with the younger generations, how do you bring them together as peer-to-peer, not as hierarchy? So everyone has something to offer on the table. He has their wisdom, you have your fresh look of the world, of the technology, your input in this and that. It's just that humbleness again, that it's not, one knows better or the other knows. Everyone knows something of value at this time. And it's just how do we renew it and how we do that. So what is a last advice you would give for the younger generation? The Generation Z, not the millennials, but the Generation Z. What is your advice for them?
I think during the internet development, the information are more and more transparent. Like, I believe that millennials know so much better than us. So I can only encourage them, keep fighting, forge ahead, be positive, and trust that the world is always going to be better. Just go and play and fight.
I love that hope, that, very kind of optimistic look. And a last advice for the older generation, for our generation. What advice would you give us?
Just try to be a kid again.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I'm trying, TX. I'm trying.
You're trying. It's very successful. That's really great.
Thank you. I think it's just, I always felt that, like you said, experimenting is something that I kind of go with in life. When you feel something is not working anymore, or you have just given your best and time to move on. And this is where your risk-taking comes. This is where your adventurous nature comes, which is, what am I going to lose? Let me experiment, right? If it works, great. If it doesn't work, so what? Oh, I'd really love to thank you, TX, for a lovely conversation today. I really, really learned so much, and I'm so impressed with so much of your learning, so much of your knowledge maturity, so much of even the impact you have so far. And I just know that you're going to continue this journey. And I'm going to hear more and more of your great news in the near future. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for giving me the chance. And I'm definitely going to keep you posted with my adventures.
Please do. Please do. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you. Thank you, TX.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. And that brings us to the end of this week's Knowledge Mindfulness Porch. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes. If you have the time, we would really appreciate if you left us a review so other amazing individuals like you can find us. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
You have been listening to the Knowledge Mindfulness Porch with Laila Maroof. If you want to join the movement of knowledge mindfulness and shape the world of tomorrow, go to drlailamaroof.com. The Knowledge Mindfulness Porch is a production of Forbes Books.